Love him or hate him, Donald J. Trump is one of the most controversial and talked about figures in modern American history. A billionaire businessman turned reality TV star turned president, Trump's rise to power was unlike anything the world had ever seen. His presidency was marked by bold policies, constant media battles, and a deeply divided nation. To some, he was a fearless leader who put America first. To others, he was a reckless disruptor who weakened democratic norms. But how did Trump go from a New York real estate mogul to the most powerful man in the world? What were the key moments of his presidency? And what are the lasting effects of his leadership? Let's dive into the political roller coaster that is Donald Trump. From business empire to reality TV fame, Donald John Trump was born in 1946 in Queens, New York, into a wealthy real estate family. His father, Fred Trump, was a highly successful real estate developer who specialized in middle-class housing. From a young age, Donald was groomed to take over the family business. After attending the Wharton School of Business, he joined the Trump Organization in the 1970s and set his sights on Manhattan's luxury real estate market. Through aggressive deal-making, Trump built an empire of hotels, casinos, and skyscrapers. By the 1980s, he was a household name, with properties like Trump Tower symbolizing his larger-than-life persona. But his business career wasn't all success. He faced multiple bankruptcies, failed ventures like Trump Airlines and Trump University, and legal battles that would follow him for decades. Despite these challenges, Trump's brand remained strong. In the 2000s, he transitioned to reality TV with The Apprentice, a hit show that cemented his image as a tough, no-nonsense businessman. The catchphrase, "You're fired," became iconic, and Trump leveraged his television fame into greater political influence. By the time he announced his candidacy for president in 2015, he was already a global celebrity. The 2016 election, a political earthquake. When Donald Trump announced his candidacy for president in June 2015, few people took him seriously. His campaign launch, in which he labeled Mexican immigrants as rapists and criminals, was met with outrage. Pundits predicted his campaign would collapse quickly, but Trump defied expectations. His populist, anti-establishment message resonated with millions of Americans who felt left behind by globalization and political elites. He positioned himself as an outsider who would drain the swamp in Washington, reject political correctness, and put America first. Despite controversies, including the Access Hollywood tape scandal, in which he was recorded making lewd comments about women, Trump defeated over a dozen Republican rivals, securing the party's nomination. He faced Democratic candidate Hillary Clinton in what became one of the most heated and divisive elections in U.S. history. Trump's unconventional campaign, fueled by massive rallies, aggressive social media use, and relentless attacks on the mainstream media, energized his base. Meanwhile, Clinton's campaign struggled with enthusiasm and was plagued by scandals, including an FBI investigation into her use of a private email server. On November 8, 2016, in a shocking upset, Trump won the presidency despite losing the popular vote by nearly 3 million votes. His victory, powered by key wins in battleground states like Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, stunned the political world and marked the beginning of a new era in American politics. The Trump presidency, a nation divided. Donald Trump took office on January 20, 2017, delivering an inaugural address that emphasized nationalism, economic revival, and a rejection of globalism. His presidency was immediately marked by controversy as protests erupted across the country. Throughout his 4 years in office, Trump's leadership style remained combative, often clashing with the media, political opponents, and even members of his own administration. While some praised his unconventional approach, others saw it as chaotic and dangerous. Key policies and achievements. Tax cuts and deregulation. Trump signed the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017, reducing corporate and individual tax rates. He also rolled back numerous regulations, arguing that they stifled business growth. Supreme Court appointments. He appointed 3 conservative justices, Neil Gorsuch, Brett Kavanaugh, and Amy Coney Barrett, shaping the court for decades. Middle East diplomacy. The Abraham Accords normalized relations between Israel and several Arab nations, a significant foreign policy achievement. Economic growth, pre-COVID. Before the pandemic, the U.S. economy experienced record low unemployment, stock market growth, and rising wages. Controversies and criticism. The Russia investigation. Special counsel Robert Mueller investigated whether Trump's campaign colluded with Russia in the 2016 election. While the probe found Russian interference, it did not establish a criminal conspiracy between Trump and Russia. Impeachment. First time. In 2019, Trump was impeached by the House of Representatives over allegations that he pressured Ukraine to investigate Joe Biden's son. He was later acquitted by the Senate. Racial tensions and protests. Trump's handling of racial justice protests, particularly after the killing of George Floyd, sparked widespread criticism. His refusal to condemn white supremacists outright in certain instances fueled further division. COVID-19 pandemic. The pandemic became a defining crisis of Trump's presidency. His administration's response was widely debated. While Operation Warp Speed helped accelerate vaccine development, critics accused him of downplaying the virus's severity. The 2020 election, chaos, and the aftermath. Trump's bid for re-election in 2020 was overshadowed by the COVID-19 pandemic and widespread unrest. Facing Democratic challenger Joe Biden, Trump's campaign emphasized economic recovery, law and order, and opposition to lockdown measures. However, the election was heavily influenced by mail-in voting, record voter turnout, and concerns over election integrity. When Biden was declared the winner with 306 electoral votes, Trump refused to concede, claiming widespread voter fraud, a claim that was rejected by courts and election officials. On January 6, 2021, Trump supporters stormed the U.S. Capitol in an attempt to overturn the election results. The riot led to multiple deaths and global condemnation. In response, Trump was impeached for a second time, becoming the only president in U.S. history to be impeached twice. Trump's influence on global politics. Beyond the United States, Donald Trump's presidency had a significant impact on global affairs. His America First policy led to a more isolationist stance, withdrawing from agreements like the Paris Climate Accord and the Iran nuclear deal. His trade war with China reshaped international markets, while his approach to NATO and foreign allies sparked tensions. However, his direct negotiations with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un and the Abraham Accords in the Middle East showed a different side of his diplomacy. Whether strengthening or straining relationships, Trump's presidency changed how America interacted with the world. His legacy in global politics remains debated, with some praising his tough stance on adversaries and others criticizing his unpredictable foreign policy decisions.